It's the last 2 official games before the winter break. It's actually fairly long, so I was able to schedule a couple friendlies against a couple, well, they're not on the same level as Kaiserslautern, but they should be good enough to keep us fresh during the off time. That said, these last few games have gone about as well as can be expected. We've won some, we've drawn some, and we got absolutely jobbed in one. So, typical FM. My name's FM21, and this is the Red Devils Rising. So our last match was the loss at Hertha in the Pokal, and we turned around almost immediately to play RB Leipzig, and we managed to scrape a draw out of that game. De Gracke got injured. It wasn't anything too serious, but he scored the goal in the 67th minute. Leipzig scored early on. No, they scored in the 52nd minute. I'm thinking of another game. It was one of those games where they had more shots, they had more on target. Decker did a really good job between the sticks, and we held on for the draw. That's about the highlight of it, to be honest with you. It could have gone a lot worse. Decker had some very nice saves. He's really coming to his own. I was really kind of worried about Mazzini leaving and Decker being able to step up. I thought we'd be losing games by a lot of goals. Instead, we're keeping it close, which I'm liking. Against Wolfsburg, it took an Oliver Skip goal in the 78th minute for us to claw the victory out. Bernat scored, Florian Held scored, Pellegrini scored right before the end of the first half, which kind of put them on their back foot. And then they came alive in the second half. The goal in the 93rd minute makes the score look closer than it actually was, but Wolfsburg was definitely game for this match. They had 15 shots, 10 on target. We had 16 and 9. Again, Decker, a very nice game. He ended up on a 7-2. But Bernat had a solid game. Skip had a solid game. The youngsters are really starting to come into their own, which I'm really starting to like as well. This was a good victory for us. And then we turned around and got stomped 4-1 by Eintracht Frankfurt. Pellegrini had a goal in the 70th minute. That was about our only highlight of the game. We had 7 shots, 3 on target. Eintracht had 16 and 8. Kubo scored, Mena scored, Kone scored. It was just... They put us on the back foot early. I had a lot of players have a lot of bad games, and this is what happens. Against Mainz, we did okay. We scored 2 goals to their 1, Munt no goal, Skip a goal. They had more shots and more on target, but it really didn't help them all that much. Decker, again, a very solid game. The defense had a nice game as well. Soro's been complaining about wanting more playing time. I've been giving him more playing time, and frankly, he hasn't been playing enough to keep justifying playing time, if that makes sense. It's getting interesting to where I've got players demanding new contracts and new playing time, and it's like, I'm not quite sure you guys deserve all that. We did deserve this win, though. We worked hard for it. The defense really stepped up near the end of the game, and I was more than happy to come away with the win. I mean, why wouldn't you be happy to come away with the win? Well, maybe injuries. That's a whole other tangent, actually. And then against Bayern, we got absolutely jobbed. Swiderski a goal, Pellegrini a goal a minute later, Bernat a goal in the 67th minute. They scored twice in the first half to go up 2-0. We were ahead 3-0, and they got a 92nd minute Alaba penalty kick goal. Decker was player of the match on an 8-5. Bayern had 31 shots, 16 on target. The amount of athletic saves this kid made is just... I watched this game on extended highlights. I have a hard time believing it. Just some of the saves he made. He's really improving in a lot of areas. His one-on-ones are coming up. His reflexes have always been good. His kicking's always been good. His handling has gotten better. His command of area is getting better. His aerial reach and communication are also getting better. He's turning into a very quality keeper. I think, especially if he gets playing time like this and he keeps turning in the performances he's been turning in, he will definitely reach this 4.5-star potential. I mean, he's only 21 years old. He's got plenty of time to do that. There's one thing I am kind of worried about. It's his aggression's a little bit on the low side. I would like to see him challenge for some more balls. But at the same time, if he's performing as well as he has been performing, and even just a little bit less... I mean, he got an 8-5 out of this match for crying out loud. When was the last time you saw a keeper score anything higher than an 8 without scoring a goal or getting an assist? He was just absolutely amazing. So today we're playing Freiburg and Hertha. Hopefully we'll get our revenge on enemy people, Hertha Berlin. And then we are into the winter break. I've got friendlies scheduled against Chambly and Ostend, and we're going to play Schalke. We're going to play Schalke, Cologne, and Nuremberg offline. Come back for the Hoffenheim and Stuttgart game. Looking at the roster, as I'm clicking the wrong thing, I don't know that we'll be making a lot of moves. At one point in time, De Graka was wanted, and he still is, mostly by Chinese squads. He hasn't expressed any interest in going over there. And I think the only reason I would let him go is if one of them offered a boatload of money. I'm trying to get a couple more youngsters out on loan. Dustin Bloom, possibly. Hamza Ben Nasser, I want to send out on loan. He's listed, but no one's picked him up yet. The other thing I'm looking for is from Truba on up. Those are the players whose contracts are expiring. I'm not going to re-sign Soro. Flihioli, I'm kind of up in the air about. I'll probably wait until after the game, offer him a contract, see what he wants. But if I can go out and find a younger option that's just as good as he is now and can be better than him, I'll probably let him go. I'm looking at who I have for defenders on the left. I've got Ranieri. Bejker can play over on the left. Yeri Almeida is a youngster, but he's out on loan. I've got Logan Pye, who will probably take over Flihioli's spot. Manuel Bloom is my youth player with a lot of potential and a nice future. Jose Jesus is probably the guy, but he lost trust in me because he wanted a new contract, and it was one of those cases where he wanted an important player contract. And it's like, you're not getting an important player. You're 18 years old. You don't even have first team playing time. I'm not going to pay you as much, if not more, than some of the other long-time established starters I have on the squad. So we'll have to see what happens. And actually, what I need to do is I brought him up to the senior squad just now. I need to get him on the bench so he can get some playing time. He's lost trust, but, maybe if we can get him some playing time, he will regain it back. So this is the squad we're going to play for the upcoming match. We got Decker in goal, Pye, Bejker, Jamelka, and Michael Hollis as the defensive back four, Gallagher and Swiderski as the midfielders. I need to make Swiderski a deep line playmaker. And then Held and Burnett as the attacking midfielders, Montno and Pellegrini up top as the strikers. Who do they have on their squad? Leinert, Koundé, Changhoon, Demirovic. Okay. Decker rushes out to grab that. Long kick towards Pellegrini. Headed down. Goes to Held. Gets by one defender, and he's fouled. Is he outside the box? No penalty. Burnett from just outside the box, and it's headed over the crossbar. Pye on the throw-in. Montno. Swiderski back to Montno. To Gallagher. Swiderski up to Held, who taps it by the diving goalkeeper for a goal. He is really coming to his own as the advanced midfielder on the left. He's got a big, big future in front of him. And hopefully it will be here at Kaiserslautern. Nice pass by Swiderski. Held was just sitting between the two defenders. Pye over Swiderski. Back out to Pye. Crosses it in. Leinert gets a head on it. Knocks it down. Swiderski to Burnett. Back to Swiderski. Out to Pye on the left. Baseline. Held is there, but bounces it off the number 30. It was a nice defensive play by the Freiburg player. Held on the short kick from the corner to Burnett. Gallagher back to Held. Gallagher again. Dispossessed by Koundé. Dwelled on the ball too long. Now, running forward. Mutno got in front of him finally, and the ball bounces off Mutno, goes out for a corner. Well, I encouraged the guys, and they all got upset. I have no idea what's going on there. Bejger heads the ball down, but goes right to Nauf. He bounces it off my 22, who is... Is it Bejger? I'll have to look. Schlotterbeck. On the left. Centers it, but held is there. Knocks it up to Mutno. Gets by one defender. He's got help. Instead, he's going to cross it to Pellegrini. Pellegrini takes the shot and puts it in far post. The Freiburg keeper came out just far enough to open up that whole left side. That was a nice shot. He's been a more than capable replacement for Goebbels. I don't know that he'll have Goebbels' goal production, but he's definitely stepped up and filled those shoes. And a nice cheeky cartwheel at the end there. Pye on the throw-in. Mutno back to Pye. Taps up to Gallagher. Back to Mutno. Mutno crosses it in, but Nauf knocks it away. However, Maga Hollis is going to get that. He gets the ball to Swiderski. Back to Maga Hollis on the right. Long cross. Floater. Pellegrini got a head on it, but floated just left. Coming up on the half... Schlotterbeck throws it into Tassar, who gets back to Schlotterbeck all the way up to Demirovic. Dispossessed, but Zhang's going to run that down. Back out to Nauf. Gallagher intercepts that pass. Held. Up to Mutno. Long pass, but Leinert's there. Over back to Zhang to Chang-Hoon. Chang-Hoon gives the ball away to Pye. Bejger. Long pass out into space. Mutno got held up. Washington recovers the ball. He holds on to it as Freiburg sets up. Long kick. Nice first touch by Chang-Hoon. No one around him. And Decker, a nice save. Probably fairly routine, but still. Nauf on the throw-in. Oh, I can't tell what happened there. I think the number 11 got a foot on it and went right to Decker. Decker throws it out to Maga Hollis. Back to Jamelka. Out to Burnett. He centers it to Gallagher. Up to Pellegrini. Back to Gallagher. Long pass out to Burnett. Back to Swiderski. Top of the box. Gallagher out to Maga Hollis. Centers it in. Pellegrini's there, but he heads it high and left again. We're getting our chances. We're just not making the most of them. You're seeing Burnett's tired. That's interesting. Scrum in the corner of the box. Maga Hollis ends up kicking it away, but Tassler's going to run that down. Kunde. Back to Tasser. Out to Nauf. Kunde. Sailor. Right side of the box. Kunde back to Sailor. Nauf takes the shot. Oh, off of Decker. Off the post. On the line and kicked away. That was interesting. Looked like it was a goal, really. They're saying Burnett's gassed. Well, if that's the case, we'll bring on Twazi. Twazi's a more than adequate replacement. Sailor on the throw-in. Swiderski steps in front of that. Held. Gets the ball. Drives forward. Cuts outside. He's dispossessed. Tassar ran in front of him. Forced him to kick the ball away. Kunde back to Tassar. Tassar gets the ball away to Swiderski. Twazi. Back out to Held. Held centers it. Mutno's there, and he slots it past the keeper for his 8th goal of the season. He's been a good loan signing for us, but I don't know that I'd want to bring him on full-time. I think it would depend on the other options available and who my youth players are that can come up. But so far, Mutno, Pellegrini, and De Graca have been a very good rotation. Twazi can also play striker as well. Pye on the throw-in. Knocked away. Swiderski. Twazi turns around, takes the shot off the post. That was a missed effort. Jesus can also play the right. Is that his natural position? That is his natural position. Okay, so we're going to bring Jesus on for Maga Hollis. And we're going to get Soro on for Swiderski. He likes to play box-box midfielder, so we're going to put him on that. Jesus to Pellegrini. Back to Jesus. Taps it back up to Pellegrini. Soro gives the ball away to Sailor. See, it's stuff like that. Jamelka. All the way back to Decker. He centers it to Bejger. Over to Pi. Pi driving forward. Gets by the one defender. Held in the box. Dispossessed, but Pi's going to get it before it goes out of bounds. He crosses it in. Muntno's there. Just wide right. That looked like it was going in. Good gracious. And Schlotterbeck heads it over the crossbar. Decker on the goal kick. Jamelka. Up to Jesus. Twazi. Driving forward. Muntno. Pellegrini. Oh, Washington, a very nice save. That ball was struck hard enough, it probably could have pushed Washington back into the net. That was a odd corner kick. Like 4 players went up for it, and none of them managed to get a head on it. Pi dispossesses the Freiburg player. He dispossessed Kunde, but they end up with the ball on the highlight ends. Pi on the throw-in, throws away to Tasser. Gallagher runs it down, gets the ball to Soro. Out to Jesus, Twazi. Jesus takes the shot, hits the post. And they're saying we haven't had any clear-cut chances. It's interesting. 2 woodwork hits, though. Coming up on the end of the game, this was a solid match for us. I'm going to take my Henley off here after this match is getting hot. Muntno. Up to Pi. No one in front of him. He holds it up. Oh, he tried waiting for help. Pi gets the ball back again. Bounces it off a Freiburg player. Gallagher runs it down. To Soro. Up to Twazi, who loses it. Demirovic heads it down. Soro recovers. Held. Up to Muntno. Knocked away by Meyer. Nauf. Long pass towards Demirovic. Gets by one defender. Gets by the other. Takes a shot. That was ill-advised. He was pressing. They're just trying to get a goal before the end of the match. Decker jumps up, plucks that out of the air. Throws it out to Pi. Long pass across the field to Pellegrini. Pellegrini holds up. Oh, tries getting it to Held, but Nauf stepped in front of it. Gallagher back to Pi. Long pass. Twazi's there. Shoots it right at Washington. 20 shots, 7 on target, 2 work hits, only 1 clear-cut chance out of all that. Everybody on the squad was 7.0 or better except Gallagher and Magahalis. Magahalis went out at the half, so that's to be expected. But wow, a solid all-around performance. Let's look at Jesus here for a second. Yeah, he's definitely got the agility. He's got the acceleration. His crossing is adequate. His first touch is nice. Technique is nice. Marking and tackling are okay. The 17 bravery is very nice. I like that. His concentration could be a little bit better. But he's definitely got a future. The fact that they're saying rest him is interesting. It was a very good win for us. And that still keeps us in 7th place. We'll take a look at the roster here. Or we'll take a look at the standings here in just a minute. Held did have a very good game. So currently, Pellegrini leads us with 12 goals and a 7.43 rating. Held has 9 assists. Jamelka the best pass completion rating. Held and Pellegrini each with 2 players of the match awards. Flikioli and Conor Gallagher each with 2 yellow cards. So we are currently in 7th place. Well, we're tied in 6th place on 28 points. So Borussia Dortmund's kind of jumped ahead. They're 4 points ahead of Hertha. And it's going to be a dogfight between, I think, us 7 teams to see who gets those 7 spots. It's possible we could catch up to Hertha and Borussia Dortmund. I don't see that happening, though. But I would be happy if we qualified for some sort of European football next year. So we do have Enemy of the People, Hertha Berlin, coming up in about a week. I'm going to save the game here. And then we're going to get through the week and be back with that match in just a bit. And this is the team we are going to start against Enemy of the People, Hertha Berlin. We got Decker in goal, Pai, Beshker, Nguambia, Aurelian, Magahalis, Gallagher, and Skip in the midfield. Held and Burnett as the attacking midfielders. De Gracke and Pellegrini up top as the strikers. Harsh is my other striker. He wants to go out on loan. Steentzig is... Yeah, I've got Steentzig is the youth player that I signed at the end of last transfer window. He's definitely got a future up top as a striker. So, Muntno will leave at the end of the season. Steentzig will take his place. And then Bloom can also play striker as well, but he is probably... He's a bit on the slow side in terms of acceleration and agility. His dribbling's nice. His first touch is nice. Everything else is kind of adequate. I would probably want to send him out on loan for another year or two. But we'll see. That's something to be addressed at the end of the season. Who do they have? Teme, Nijland, Stark, Bogart, Nets, Louise, Dogopolov, Talis Magno. Great. That's right. So they sold Camavinga for a nice chunk of change. I believe they broke even in terms of money. They may have actually come out a little bit ahead. We can take a look at that here after the match. Corner kick for Hertha. Hodge sends it in. Stark bounces it off. Treshkovic runs it down, but he's dispossessed by Nguambia. De Graca gets it over to Pellegrini, who holds it up. Out to Bernat. Bernat gets dispossessed, but he gets the ball back. Gets by one defender in the box. Centers it back and forth, and finally Pellegrini scores. Was Bernat offside? Are they counting that as offsides? Unreal. Decker to Aurelian. Out to Bejker. All the way up the field to Held. He gets the ball back after almost losing it. Nice pass. Pellegrini takes the shot, but right at Teme. Corner kick. Bernat sent it to Skip on the short pass, and he is dispossessed. Teme with the goal kick. Out to Nijland. Gets by Held, but Held steps in front of him and gets the ball. Well, Nijland ends up doing the same thing. Pedro gets the ball, long pass, takes the shot. Decker gets enough on it just to push it wide left. Holy cow. That was the barest of margins there. Hodge sends it in. Gallagher knocks away. Bogart's going to run it down. Pye on the throw-in. Gives the ball away to Nijland. He heads it forward. Gallagher gets it to Skip. Back to Gallagher. To Skip. All the way back to Aurelian. He gets it to Gallagher. Out to Bernat. Maga Hollis all alone on the right. Closed down rapidly. Bernat. Back and forth. Pellegrini finally gets a foot on it, but hits it right at Teme. Long kick out towards Magno. He gets it Trakovic. Out to Pedro. Back to Magno. Back to Pedro. And Decker, a very nice save. Pye on the throw-in. De Graca to Gallagher. Up to Pye. Bogart to start. Pellegrini. Oh, it's Held that got that. Big massive bodies right there. It's a very nice goal by Florian, though. Let's see this in the 3D. Oh, that's what happened. The ball got kicked away by the Hertha defender. And it went right to Florian, who slotted it past the keeper. Okay. Pye to Skip on the throw-in. Gives the ball away. Pedro ends up with it. Gets by the one defender. Driving forward, right side of the box. Holds it up. He's fouled. Pye fouled him. And Pedro slots it away for the goal. Well, that is halftime. They've had twice as many shots and twice as many on target, but it took a penalty kick right before the end of the first half for them to draw equal with us. Bernat off the free kick sends it in. It goes right to Teme. It looked like Pellegrini went up and missed the kick, or missed the header. Teme threw it down the field to Pedro off the post. Pye just bombs that out of bounds. Teme's got an arm on him. Aurelian to Skip, back to Bejker. Gives the ball away. Stark to Hodge. Dogopolov. Back to Hodge. Off the post again. Wow, we've gotten lucky. Decker to Aurelian. Up to Skip. Out to Bernat. Heads it down to Pellegrini. Skip to Maga Hollis. Skip again. Why did it... Pedro with the ball. Totally dinks Decker. I don't know what Skip is doing, but he's not going to do it anymore. We're going to bring Skip off and bring on Swiderski. We're going to bring Aurelian off and bring on Jamelka. Teme out to Nijland. To Magno, back to Florentino. Gives the ball away. Maga Hollis, Jamelka. Swiderski back to Bezger. Pedro. And he hits the post. Nijland on the throw to Florentino. To Pedro. Out to Nijland on the right. Gets by the one defender. Takes the shot. And Hodge was late to the ball. Corner kick. Swiderski off the short pass to Bernat. Takes the shot. Held is there and he scores. Was he offsides? I have yet to see a VAR decision over. I take it back. I've seen one goal score offsides call overturned on VAR, where they said, no, he was definitely onside. Every other time, they've been offsides. To Graca, back to Jamelka, out to Bernat. Drives forward. Gallagher to Pellegrini, takes the shot. Nijland didn't foul held there. Good grief, there's a team that had 2 players sent off. Dogopolov, back to Nets. Crosses it in. Hodge gets a very nice goal. Meyer got to go pull off. Nets crossed it in. Beshka went up, missed the header. Decker stopped it. Hodge got the rebound. Verters had 2 players sent off on red cards within 2 minutes of each other. Good grief. Scally on the throw-in gives the ball away. Pye just knocks it forward. Florentino's going to run that down. Oh, Graka got there. Gets the ball up to Pellegrini. Dispossessed. Nets. However, Swiderski steps in front of that. Jamelka back to Swiderski. Gallagher gives the ball away to goal. Our passing is horrible. Maga Hollis all the way back to Decker. Bezger. I've got short pat. Slightly shorter passing on. Good grief, people. Bezger up to Held. Long pass into space. Pellegrini. Round to the keeper. He does, and he puts it away. It's a late goal. It's too late. Nice pass by Held to get the ball up to where Pellegrini could get it. Still too little, too late. And we lose 3-2. Jeez. Take a look at Teme here. 18 reflexes, 20 aggression. Wow. 14 throwing. Where did they get him? You know what? We'll check that out here after this. That was annoying. We're still in 7th place, though. Teme they got from Malaga. I don't remember if I scouted him or not. The name's not familiar. It's really good, though. Yeah, they sold Camavinga to Man United for 112. That's after they bought him in from Rennes for 111. So, if you take into account like what they paid him in salary and stuff like that, they lost money, but they broke even transfer money-wise. But I don't know if they got like a sugar daddy or what. But they spent 84 the first season, 154 the second season, 166 the third season. João Pedro was 101 million of that. They sold Cunha to Liverpool for 98 million. Spent 134, sold 52. Yeah, they bought Dogopolov for 71 million from Benfica. Nijland for 38.5 from VVV. Teme from Malaga. Yeah, I probably scouted him when he was a youth player, but because I have Decker, I didn't. Oh, what a bummer of a game. The press is telling us we are not in a relegation battle. I'll believe it when I see it, which probably means I won't believe it until May. So, looking ahead, as discussed in the intro, we're going to play through the January transfer window. We're going to go back for Hoffenheim and Stuttgart. So, I don't know that we'll be all that active. I don't think we will. I mean, we've got... Let me get through the save here. We've got a decent amount of money left in the transfer budget. We've got 60 million euros in the transfer budget. We've got 330,000 euros to play with on the payroll. So, I mean, if there's a player out there that just is absolutely outstanding and is a good value, then I'll pick them up. If I can move a player like a Thaki or someone like that who just doesn't fit with the squad anymore because he's been surpassed by younger players, I may do that as well. We'll have to wait and see. Also have to take a look at, well, Hamza Ben Nasser is going to go out on loan. Flesner, I don't know, I'll probably keep him on the under-19s this year, loan him out next year. I don't know if there's any second-team players or youth players that absolutely positively need to go out on loan. No, Bloom's getting playing time, actually. Should probably move him to the senior squad. He is on the senior squad. Truba wants a new contract. We'll give him one at the end of the month. Maddie, I need to get playing time. You know what? We'll have to wait and see. So that said, not the best episode, to be honest with you. I mean, that Hertha match was just absolutely annoying. The Freiburg game was good. That was a good, solid win for us. This Hertha match is just going to bug me for a long, long time, unfortunately. But that said, we're doing quite well. We're where we are, to paraphrase Dennis Green, we are where we thought we should be. As I'm clicking all over the place. We're in 7th spot. We're challenging for European football. That's the goal of this season. They're telling us we are eliminated. We're mathematically eliminated from relegation, which, okay, we're 18 points ahead. That seems entirely possible. So, but frankly, I'm always kind of a pessimist about this sort of thing, no matter what the press says. We got some good matches coming up ahead of us. I think the January transfer window is going to be really quiet. Now, having said that out loud, watch it be one of the busiest ever. But that said, I wish the episode had gone better. I wish we'd won that Hertha game, or at least drawn with them. That's just annoying. And the fact that I've yet to, with the exception of that one time, I've yet to see an offsides overturned by VAR is just annoying as hell. SI's managed to fix so much other stuff in FM20 and 21 rather, and they haven't been able to fix that. That's just annoying. But that said, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. I'm FM Jellico. I thank you for watching.